It was New Year's 1990. A dictation by our beloved Lord Maitreya. I was there. I was moved. I was changed. He started out by saying, "My beloved hearts of light, I embrace you, each one, and place upon your forehead the kiss of cosmic Christ peace. May you find surcease from all outer turbulence in my electronic presence, which I joyously place upon you, O my beloved. I come with a rejoicing heart and a heart of lamentation. I come with the whole world in my right eye, and in my right hand, the fire of transmutation takes on the violet, the purple, the white fire, the secret ray colors, and the ruby of the Buddha of the ruby ray. Therefore, let earth be passed through the right hand of the cosmic Christ that I am. And let every atom of the planetary body know the promise of light that consumes darkness, that does transcend it, and that it's the eternal flame of hope for an opportunity lost that may be regained, hope eternal as the lily of the ascension flame of the Blessed Mother Mary, hope in the single shoe attached to the staff of Bodhidharma as he was seen making his way to India after his transition. Hope in the other shoe that was the sole remains found when they dug up the grave where the body had been placed by his disciples. Bodhidharma did reincarnate again and again, and did take his ascension in this century. Yes, thus there are many facets to Zen, many sides of Zen in subsequent incarnations prior to his ascension. Bodhidharma sowed the seeds of the teachings of the cosmic Christ that you now study on the cosmic Christ, which balanced his original teachings of Zen. Hope, beloved, springs eternal in the heart of the Chela. I speak of hope, therefore, rather than regret. I speak of hope rather than regret. Thus my messenger has passed the torch to my staff for the sealing of the 1984 volumes of the Pearls of Wisdom. This is what he's talking about. This volume, it is full of his teachings, not only his dictations, but his teachings from others as well. This volume contains many of my dictations and much of my teaching given through the Ascended Masters on the path of personal Christhood, and that which comes down through the tradition of Buddhism. Blessed hearts, I place my hope in the eternal Dharma, in the teaching itself that does live on as a thread which the Divine Mother does take, sewing as with a needle and thread through the garments of the Bodhisattva. And therefore, that thread, in and out, establishes the thread of contact as a mighty Artakarana between the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas and the Christed ones. There's an idea of us in the West that once you hear the dictation, that's it. Going on for the next. If somebody says, I'm going to read such and such a dictation, oh, I already heard that. Give me something fresh. I want something fresh from the masters. Not realizing that when you, like the needle goes in and out, every time you hear it, it expands the consciousness a little more and a little more and a little more. It's like a child. He hears a song about Jesus and he sings it and he sings it and he sings it. And every time he sings it, something happens in his consciousness. The needle goes in and out, in and out, in and out. And each time it goes in and out, there's more strength, more broad awareness. It changes something within. We have to begin to understand what this is all about. We don't just hear it once and think we have it. Not at all. It's there, expanding like a seed as it gets bigger and bigger and explodes and starts growing out and so on. He said, all bow before the light of the eternal Krishna in your heart. Thus, go not here and go not there, for the kingdom of God is within you. We don't realize this. He says, fear not to realize it, to face it, to become it. For there is a fear, beloved, that keeps individuals upon the planetary body seeking God outside of themselves and even neglecting to water the tree of life that is within. There is no fear in the perfect love of the eternal oneness of the soul in Christ. Don't hesitate to read again and again and again the scriptures, the teachings. That is what makes them eternal, because you never arrive. You're always on that ladder going up. Even the simplest teachings can open up new doors, even if you've been in the teachings for years and years. If we can get our intellects and our egos out of the way, teachings become eternal. They come constantly more and more and more, wider and so on. And then we skip back because this dictation is so long to the last part of it. And he says, for those who would espouse the path of the Bodhisattva, Saint Germain gave a profound teaching on the ritual of forgiveness and the danger of harboring resentment in his July 4th, 1968 address. And he quotes a couple paragraphs here. He said, in truth, this is Saint Germain now, in truth, when men understand the ritual of forgiveness and the ritual of honor, they will understand that as they reach out from their hearts to enfold one whom they meet on the way and embrace let's see, let me back up. When they reach out from their hearts to enfold one whom they meet with true and unbiased love, there flows from their hearts to that one an energy of upliftment. Sit in an airport and watch people coming off the planes coming from one direction and people waiting for those people. And you can see something connection. The moment they see them, you can almost see the light or the vibration or the energy moving. And the closer they come, the more they almost run and they grasp each other. They enfold each other in light. He said that in contacting, the receptive heart is raised exponentially into higher dimensions until, by the power of the square root, the cosmic cube glows within that energy and uplifts it by love. This positively charged energy then returns to the sender, assuring him that the blessings he will reap for the joy he has released to another will be a permanent part of his world forever. That's the end of the quote. But something we should put in our memories and watch and work with. He said, we urge then upon all an understanding of the ritual of the heart, how it works. When an individual does some bit of harm to you, precious ones, whether it be mischievous or intentional, you who are the wise ones will immediately seize upon the opportunity to forgive him. For when the essence of forgiveness is released from your heart, not only does it create a passion for freedom in the erring one, but it intensifies remorse in his heart, thereby bringing him to the feet of his own divinity. Thus, he is able once again to laugh at the wind and the wave and the seasons and the buffetings of life, and understand that all is a chastening to unfold his soul's reality. Did you catch that? When we only think of ourselves, when someone gives us, whatever, do we take it personally and get angry right away? Or, as he says, can we begin to be wise ones and immediately let it go? Immediately forgive. Immediately don't let it get a handle on us. He said, do you see then, gracious ones, that courtesy as an expression of forgiveness and affection between hearts is a spiritual activity that brings about great soul expansion, which is intended to bring every man from serfdom to a state of lordship where he is the master of his world. Big stuff. Moving from slavery to our own problems, to serfdom, where you're the master on top of it, and you see it as it comes, and you chuckle, you laugh, you let it go, because you know who you are. Even though that person may not know who you know who you are. And therefore, immediately, as soon as it hits, you release, you let it go. He said, yes, we sometimes look askance, even from our octave, at those individuals who have long been under our tutelage and our radiation, who upon receipt of some trivial offense immediately begin to send out a vibration of great resentment against the one who performs this offense against their life streams. Quite frequently, there is a mounting of intense reactionary resentment. You've never experienced that within yourself, have you? All of us have had to face this. And the question is, how do we handle it? Quite frequently, there is a mounting of intense reactionary resentment. This creates a great karma for the student of the Ascended Master Law, who ought to know better. And though the rupture that is thereby created in the emotional body, there is a pressing in from the sinister force of disturbing vibrations that not only flow through the aura and life stream of the one who has taken offense, but it also punctures the peace and harmony of the supposed offender. Do you not see then, by contrast, what a gracious thing the ritual of forgiveness can be? And oh, how wonderful it would be if our students would truly understand the law of forgiveness. It is a sweet gift from the heart of God, and one that people ought to welcome into their worlds so that they may freely give it to others, even as they have freely received it. Have you ever wondered why Jesus put in the Lord's Prayer, Father, forgive our sins as we forgive others? As we forgive others. He said, whenever someone does something that is not to your liking, precious ones, this is your great opportunity. This is your opportunity to say, I will use God's energy and love to erase one more blight upon the universe. I will see to it that the blackboard of life becomes the radiant screen of white perfection. And I will put my perfection patterns into manifestation, for these patterns are from the Father, and I am the Son, representing the Father. And I must show forth light and not darkness. Don't you think it had been strange, gracious ones, that from time to time, people insist upon doing just the opposite. With their mouths, they attempt to draw near to God as they speak and prattle of brotherly love. But when the moment of testing comes, they are the first ones to rise up and say, "Vengeance is mine." What a mockery this makes of pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father. Let us then seek not after lust or luster, but let us seek after the perfectionment of life. The perfectionment of life lives within you. The perfectionment of life lives within you. It is quite natural to draw light from within your heart and send it out into the world. This is the virtue that creates the seamless garment. This is the virtue that creates the seamless garment. Do you realize, he says, that your tube of light, isn't that the aura? Your tube of light is the seamless garment of the Christ. Now take that one in and concentrate on it. Your seamless garment, your aura, is the seamless garment of the Christ. Do you realize when you call forth from God the perfection of his light radiance to surround you, that you are weaving the seamless garment around yourself? Precious ones, I want you all to understand that the moment you have in your thought and feeling world resentment against any individual, any group of individuals on earth, you are immediately sending forth through the qualification of your energy the substance which will create a boomerang that will bring to your doorstep a great deal of unhappiness. Do you not understand? Do you not wish to reap the fruit of unhappiness? You do not wish to reap the fruit of unhappiness, do you? Then I am certain you will understand that even if you do not always feel like forgiving, it is this discretion which is the better part. In fact, the best part of valor. Shall we just stop there? For that alone is so much for us to grasp and get a hold of. El Morya, you remember, said that there's a whole group of angels that are trained to come and heal, sew up the vibrations around us. You can become very high in frequency and have this radiation so strong, and then if you blow your stack, there's a big hole blown in this essence of yourself. They come and they will help sew it up if you call them. It will help bring you out of the agony of the blow-up. Like Mother said, you can decree and decree and decree and decree all week and build yourself a tremendous power and then lose your temper one time. And you can start all over again because it went all out that hole that you just blew. See, we don't understand how this works. But when we begin to understand the teaching, and every time we hear it, we expand our understanding, our comprehension of what this is all about. He said in his dictation, November 21st of 1976, Lord Maitreya told us how the challenge to embody the virtue of loving kindness motivated him on the path. He said, I came to initiate the line of the Bodhisattvas of the New Age. I came to inquire, are there any among you who care enough for Terra to live and to love, and to live and to serve until this people, held in the hand of God, come into the center of the One? Here I am, and startling as it may seem, I have always been with you, even in the darkest hours of your aloneness, even in the hour of your rejection of my presence, when you have cried out, whither shall I flee from thy presence? For you have known in your soul that you would ascend to heaven or be in the depths of the underworld. You would find Maitreya Buddha answering the call of Gautama Buddha, of Sanat Kumara. For long ago, I took my vow. Listen to this, his vow. I will not leave thee, O my God. I will not leave thee, O my God. And I saw my God imprisoned in flesh. I saw the word imprisoned in hearts of stone. I saw my God interred in souls bound to the ways of the wicked. And I said again, I will not leave thee, O my God. I will tend that fire. I will adore that flame, and by some will aspire to be with me, to be Maitreya. Do you see what he is saying? We want to reach the ascension. So we see ourselves constantly in the center, working toward our ascension. But he suddenly began to see the souls of the evil ones. They are part of God. They were created by God, but they chose another way. And so he saw God imprisoned in that person. He began to work on that person. That was the center. God in that person that's imprisoned in that mind, in that soul, in that creation that he's created himself into be. And that's what he's working on. Not just himself, his own individual selfishness, but he's reaching out God reaching out to God in another person. He said, and one day I sat my head in my hands, deep in thought. And Lord Gautama said to me, what are you thinking, my son? And I said, my father, can we win them with kindness and with love? Will they respond to love? And my father said to me, if you hold within your heart, my son, the full orchestration of love, 144,000 tones of love, if you yourself will come to know love, then, yes, you will win them with love. My heart leaped for joy. My father had given me the challenge to know love, to be love, not for the sake of mere love and loving love, not for the sake of a mere bliss of the communion of love, but for the salvation of souls, for the reaching out unto my God in humanity. Most blessed ones, I ask you to consider these teachings as compartments of the 1,000-petaled lotus of my crown, and of the tone, and of the rose of the heart of my heart, and of the rose of light in my heart. I ask you to take them as though you would pluck them from my crown chakra and from my heart chakra, and take them to your own chakras of wisdom and love. Take them, beloved. Ere this year end, take them, beloved, and have them for the friend that you meet on the way of life. Messengers of heaven are friends. Messengers of hell are friends. For all bring lessons and opportunities for Vira, for the release of the sacred fire, divine love, transmutation, forgiveness. Blessed hearts, I ask you to enter this year in the full majesty of that fearless compassion, whose definition comes down to the point of forgiveness. Forgiveness is that which will erase the record untoward, soften the recalcitrance of hardness of heart, of arthritis, of diseases of the bones, and even the calcification of the brain. Understand that forgiveness is needed. It is needed that it arise out of the fount of your soul in this hour, in such a concentrate of mercy's ray that it may contact and reach all who have ever wronged you in the way. Blessed hearts, the Lord of love, the Lord of mercy and compassion may then greet you in the first day of the year to bring you that forgiveness of your wrongs that you need so much, but that is withheld from you by the great law for your own withholding of forgiveness from those who have wronged you. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? Let me read that again. The Lord of mercy and compassion may then greet you on the first day of the year to bring you that forgiveness of your wrongs that you need so much, but that has been withheld from you by the great law for your own withholding of forgiveness from those who have wronged you. Blessed ones, this withholding is even as a record in the unconscious, as a compartment of the dweller on the threshold, as a record in the electronic belt and the subconscious. Don't take this lightly. I have all my life had a problem. I dreamt when I was a kid, constantly over and over again, I was being chased by somebody, and I was running, trying to save myself. And as I became an adult, I began to have problems that felt like when I took my shoes off, they were encased in something like a steel band around them. And I finally discovered that in my last lifetime, I was in a situation that did not please the king and the queen. And they were hunting me, and they caught me, and they set me down and put my feet in a bucket, a bucket on each side, and they filled it with cement, and they put me in a rowboat, and they took me out into the depths of the sea and threw me overboard. It was the resentment that caused me to be in the situation that I got caught. And it was resentment as I went down that I felt I hated them to no end. And in this lifetime, I am still releasing. It's been some years now that I found out what was the cause. And I have been working with the violet flame to release. And even now and then, I take off my shoes at night, but I still feel like I have something solid around my feet. But I will get there because it's almost gone. But what he's saying here is very, very important. What are we carrying against other people? What are we doing with our thoughts and our feelings? He said, therefore, and this is where he's come to help us. He's now opening this door. He said, therefore, as you meditate upon Beethoven's Ode to Joy, I ask you to pray fervently and to draw from your I am presence and Holy Christ self and your threefold flame all of the forgiveness that you can draw forth. Send it to all, beloved, all, I say, who have ever wronged you. Send it also to all you have wronged. Therefore, let the scales be better balanced as much of the law will allow. Let it be done now as you pray softly while this music is playing. In the eternal sounding of the word, I am Maitreya. I am Buddha. I am Mother. I stand between time and space, the master of both. Yet I abide in neither, but I abide in the heart of the Chila and in the stupa of the Buddha. Okay. I come out of the Tushita heaven, where I have been discoursing with bodhisattvas who have attained to that level of God's self-mastery and enlightenment that is required of those who abide in this realm. When you attain to that level, beloved, you may also go there, for this is a plane of heaven that is reserved for those having the bodhisattva attainment or greater. Thus, in many art forms, you will see depicted the Buddha surrounded by many bodhisattvas abiding in this Tosisha heaven. These blessed unascended ones look to the day of my coming in the earth, when they may reincarnate with me to be messengers of the Dharma of the new age. They are filled with wonder that intimations of this Dharma and full cups of it are given through the dictations of the ascended masters, through the messengers, that those who in embodiment, who are also on the path of the Bodhisattva, may be forerunners and indeed anchor the new age of Aquarius for our coming. I am here, beloved, in the fullness of the coming Buddha, who has indeed come. But I may one day come with my bodhisattvas as to a certain level of incarnation, if there shall be a golden age upon earth. Thus, many sweet smiling faces of these blessed ones look upon you as their point of hope for fulfillment of the long-awaited dream. It is their Dharma to embody, beloved, whether or not I do, for they must fulfill their path of the ascension and in the process become teachers of the Dharma. Thus, They think up to themselves on such a night as this, when cycles turn with the intensity of the new decade upon us, that perhaps they may be the grandchildren, the great, 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 great grandchildren of yourselves. And thus, you, as ascended masters or as unascended masters, may one day be smiling down upon them from the Toshita heaven. You yourselves, once again, awaiting your turn to finish your work upon earth in an advanced age of enlightenment. There is, therefore, precious ones, a blessed opportunity at hand. And I, for one, perceive my opportunity to be as near to the physical octave as the great law will allow. Thus, I descend to the etheric level. I shall come and go at that level, and you may see me if you prepare the physical and the spiritual vessels for that inner perception. I will not hide from you, but your vision must be able to penetrate the etheric octave. Your vision must be able to penetrate the etheric octave. Remember that your responses to the light come with many forms of perception, the sensing of the heart, the tangible vibration that the masters talk about around the crown chakra, and other vibrations that you recognize, the sense of the nearness of our bands, the capturing of our glance in the snowflake, the flower, the blade of grass, or Venus smiling at you each evening. Ah, yes. Have you noticed the lily of the valley we have on our altar Sunday after Sunday? There is a plant in our orchard back here, and it just keeps coming out one after another so that we can go back and cut a lily for the altar. Every time I look at the lily, I think of the divine reality. And then we have the rose of the heart, also on the altar this morning, the rose of the heart. As you see the God in these flowers, in the beauty of life and so on, this is what it's all about. I come, therefore, to assure you that I am with you. I assure you that it was upon my request that the chief of the Darjeeling Council of the Great White Brotherhood, who does represent me in so many key ways as guru before this community, put forth a very serious recommendation that your preparedness be full on this day and date. And this was in 1990. Thus, through the messenger, he has sent a message to members of our staff requiring them to report back to the messenger and to the students in the outer community what is their progress in preparedness. Are you ready for the ascension? Look back a year. What have you changed? How have you changed? What is your condition at this moment? He said, this has become necessary because many have not heeded the word to be fully prepared by this date. I assure you that if you could see El Morya in this moment, you would see him moving about among this community with his own clipboard and pad, taking notes here and there and everywhere, very concerned that Chelas have understood neither the testing of this path of Chelaship nor the equation at hand. Therefore, the chief is most pleased that the actions speak louder than words lecture is now available to you to study and to multiply as the all-seeing eye of God upon the issues of our time. We have been working hard. We have now the energy transference. By the way, we're having that ritual tonight if you want to join us. The cloud that we do once a month. The prayer vigils that we put on every Saturday and other times. We are working and helping every person move up to become ready in this hour. Blessed ones, make no mistake. The Guru El Morya, who does represent me in yourselves in this community, represent me to yourselves in this community, by his additional sponsorship, have given you a true assignment of Chelaship. You must look at it as the assignment of Marpa to Milarepa and be done with it. You must take your preparedness as an initiation on the path of your own bodhisattvahood and cease the delay and cease being confounded as to the reasons why, according to your own private analysis of the world situation, the prophecies will or will not come to pass. I'm amazed constantly how people think they are even more intelligent than the master. And they give you all kinds of reasons why this and that is right or wrong. He said, there comes a time in life of a Chela when he desires for self-mastery and his love for the Guru El Morya must supersede his sense of superiority in matters of judgment, and when the sincere one on the path must simply take up the work of the Guru and say, I must work the work of him that sent me. Now, beloved, if you do not know by now who has sent you, I pity you. And I say, God pity you. For in this hour, it is indeed El Morya who has placed himself on the line to shorten the distance between the Chelas of the cosmic Christ and my heart. Therefore, I am forever indebted to El Morya and stand with him in this effort. He does, as does every member of the Darjeeling Council. The beloved El Morya will therefore speak to you on the first day of the year, and he did at that time. And coming with him on the morrow is Serapis Bey. May you hear these great adepts, who each have a tremendous causal body of an inner attainment far beyond that which would be required to occupy the position of Guru to yourselves. In other words, beloved ones, your Chelaship may not merit these two great adepts. Nevertheless, they come in their great light, for they have the compassionate heart and the fearless compassion that is Maitri, that is forgiveness. Indeed, I heard of one of our ascended masters said when she went across, one of her biggest surprises was the tremendous El Morya. He was much, much larger than she ever could imagine. This is what we are dealing with. Thus, I trust that those of you who have received Morya's representatives sent at his behest and the behest of the messenger have not taken offense in them, but have welcomed them in the offices under which they are sent. For we have also said, if the messenger be an ant, heed him. Do not spurn him, but rejoice. For the hour has come when the cycles must be known by the builder and by the occupants, and all must strive together as a team of light to the completion of this task. We have said many times, a word to the wise is sufficient. Either the word has not been sufficient to the wise, else those who have received our word are not the wise. Blessed hearts, I trust that you are the wise ones, or that you shall swiftly become them, and therefore understand the very depth of our love, the very depth of our reason for being, the very depth of nirvana itself, out of which we have come, to which state we have returned again and again, now serving in the world close at hand, now retreating to those inner planes to hold the balance for you, beloved, or perhaps for our twin flames, or chelas of long ago, who are yet in the field to earn their karmic potential, that we might once again take them on. I, therefore, acquaint you now with the 1,000-petaled lotus of forgiveness. May you understand that the study of mercy is a deep study. To know mercy, one must know God. To know the incarnation of the mercy of God, go to Kuan Yin. See the fierceness of her mercy. See how mercy does become, upon contact with the aura of the individual, precisely the individual's quality of mercy, whether there be lack or largesse of that mercy flame. Mercy is as mercy does. Mercy is the great teacher that does teach the individual how little gain there is from the paucity of mercy. Mercy is the vastness of a cosmos, with all of the creation having itself come forth to give to child man the merciful opportunity to become God. There are cycles of the going forth of mercy as opportunity, and there are cycles when that merciful opportunity returns to the heart of God, as God does take mercy unto himself and is merciful unto himself. Thus, the great in-breath of mercy, beloved, results in the canceling out of the non-merciful, the unmerciful denial of God's mercy. May you think upon these things. May you still the mind in the full activity of the labor, so that on another track, you may contemplate the Infinite One. I am Maitreya, true to my vow to be in the earth in the mystery school. I shall not leave this place so long as a single bodhisattva remains an adequate chalice for my coming. This heart of the messenger is truly the heart of the bodhisattva. Thus may you become your own bodhisattva to assure that the cup of flame is always lit on Terra. May the chain of mercy never end. Thus there shall always be a bodhisattva in embodiment. Oh, my Father, Maitreya, Maitreya, I would become Maitreya. And in this moment, I give thanks for all of the individual situations that would keep me from that you have mentioned. Oh, expand, expand, expand the illumination within my soul, that I may become truly Maitreya, the cosmic Christ of Almighty God. Let it be so. Let it be so.